Have you ever done a detox program like fasting, a juice cleanse, Whole30, and for the time that you were doing that cleanse, you felt great. But as soon as you return to normal life, living and eating, your symptoms slowly started to creep back? Or are you struggling with chronic constipation right now, despite feeling like you've tried everything that is recommended to alleviate constipation? You've tried fiber, magnesium, water, probiotics, low FODMAP diet, dairy-free, gluten-free, pelvic floor therapy, and nothing has worked? If you said yes to either of these questions, this episode is for you. On today's episode, I'm breaking down the last of the 5 toxin traps that are keeping you constipated. And today's is poor detoxification. I'm going to be talking about why detoxing is so important in reversing constipation, why bowel movements are not actually the solution to detoxification, but they're actually the result of a properly detoxing body, signs and symptoms that your internal detoxification symptoms are off, the 3 most common mistakes keeping you stuck in toxins despite trying lots of detox regimens, and what to do instead to restore your natural ability to detox all the way into your cells so you can start pooping again. Detoxing is not just a fancy health trend that you do once and never do again. It's a normal, healthy activity your cells should be doing every moment of every day. And when that happens, it's part of another layer of what's going to be helping you to permanently reverse constipation and have easy natural bowel movements every day. If you're ready to learn how to do the same, let's dive in. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly podcast. If you're currently trying endless supplements, doctor visits, and diet changes to heal your mystery symptoms, you are in the right place. We're here to solve the real root causes behind your gut, hormone, skin, sleep, and brain concerns. Literally anything and everything in your body. My name is Allison Jordan. I'm a functional medicine practitioner that has supported over 150 clients just like you to heal problems that no one has been able to fix. You don't need a perfect diet or a random supplement you found on Instagram to heal. You need a proven system that heals your whole body from the inside out. That's what I'm here to share with you, episode by episode. It's time to make health easy again. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health. Okay, guys, today is the last episode of our series on the 5 toxin trap, which is a part of the push-release method that I described way back 5 or 6 episodes ago, which is my number 1 natural remedy to constipation. It's helped hundreds of clients heal over the last 8 years that I've been working one-to-one with clients, no matter what issues they've been diagnosed with. That includes slow motility, gastroparesis. It's included megacolons, redundant colons, colon resectioning, all of these things. No matter what clients have had or what they've been told about whether or not they will be able to poop again, they are able to. And so if you're here feeling frustrated and honestly maybe a little bit at your wit's end that either you've been told you'll never be able to poop again, or all of the normal quote unquote remedies that should help constipation are not helping you, you are in the right place. You are not stuck, even if you feel like you are. So welcome. If you did not listen to that episode on the push release method, it's episode 319, and I highly recommend either pausing this and going back and listening to it just so you have a refresher of how this episode fits in to the bigger paradigm of the push release method, or finishing this one and then going back and listening to that. So in the meantime, I wanted to talk a little bit about some myths on detoxification and its role with constipation, or really bowel movements. So one of the things that irks me to no end when I see people talk about constipation and bowel movements is that bowel movements are important to detoxification. And so that if you're going to go through some health program with some natural practitioner that they're going to help you have bowel movements. That's one of their things. And yet for almost all the clients who come work with us, having a bowel movement is the hardest thing they've ever done. They cannot just go and do it. We even have clients that laxatives no longer have worked on, that enemas don't work on, and they come to us and we've been able to help them. So it's no mere, we're just going to help you poop. There's some magic supplement out there that helps you poop. I was stuck in a place where I had tried every supplement I could think of, any supplement I could find, and nothing helped. And that's where our clients are still today. Even with new supplements hitting the market, there's no magical new thing that people are discovering that's helping everybody who's in a chronic state of constipation. And so what I have discovered over time is that instead of it being an issue of when you poop, then you detox, it's actually when you detox, then you poop. And this is why. Let me show you guys a picture here. This is super, super powerful. So I want to see if I can, oh, you know what? I'm going to switch to a different, no, this will be the best one. All right. Here we go. All right. So a lot of times this is like a chart. I'm going to focus on a little bit at a time. A lot of times people focus on just one of these things here. We say, I want to be able to poop. That's what I want to be able to do, right? And we just say, oh, if I just hyper focus on this one thing here, I will be able to just go. If I just take enough fiber, if I drink enough water. And we actually have other podcast episodes that debunk why fiber can actually make you worse when you're constipated. It can make you more constipated. It can give you more bloating, more gas. And I have a podcast episode on why magnesium is not helping and what it actually means and points to be doing instead. I will link those in the show notes. But just to say, we get hyperfixated on pooping. And then we even say, well, if I'm able to detox, then I'll be able to, or if I'm able to poop, then I'll be able to detox. Where instead, more practically, this is the way it works. There's a whole system of detoxification, and I'm pretty sure I can't turn it for you guys. We're a little new to this technology. Nope, it didn't turn for me, not for you. That's okay. There's a whole process, and starts with internal detoxification, which internal detoxification I summarize as GLIMF, which is your brain's detoxification system. It is a real thing. You can go and Google it, GLIMF with a G. Ends up dumping into the rest of your body and detoxing your brain. Then we have lymph, which is your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system actually dumps into your heart and your cardiovascular system, which is why I have a heart here. And then your spleen. So your spleen is doing some cleaning as well. And all three of these locations end up getting filtered by the liver. The liver is the central detox organ, is cleaning up. Your liver is a central location for methylation. It's a central location for detoxification. And if your liver is not able to function optimally the way we want it to, then you're going to have issues with the next three, which is detoxing through pee, detoxing through sweat, and detoxing through poop. And what's interesting too is the liver and poop actually have a special relationship here. You can actually see that there's not just an arrow pointing from liver to poop or liver to colon. There's a arrow pointing backwards that if you cannot have regular bowel movements, I don't want to make you guys feel worse. It's just something that you might not know anatomically, that there is a system of veins that actually run from the colon back to the liver. And typically these veins are going to be carrying small amounts of toxins, a lot of water, and just recycling things like bile back into the liver. But if you have a high amount of toxins and you're not pooping, you're going to reabsorb a lot more of those toxins back into the liver, and the liver gets even more bogged down. The liver has a huge role in helping you poop. One of the things it does that helps us poop is produce bile. Bile helps you digest foods properly so that then you don't get bacterial overgrowth, you don't get candida overgrowth. Bile itself is an antimicrobial, so it naturally can reduce bacterial and yeast colonies. So your bile production from your liver, even if you don't have a gallbladder, you still have bile production. If your bile production from your liver is a natural defense against candida overgrowth and SIBO. That's amazing. And so a lot of times what we find is clients who are dealing with chronic candida, chronic SIBO, chronic constipation, they have bile issues. Their liver is not able to produce bile. Their bile is thickening, and we need to be able to help the liver de-thicken the bile and figure out why did the bile thicken in the first place. And the short answer to that is toxins. But the long answer is everybody has different types of toxins. Sometimes it's a parasite that's been squirting out a lot of toxic juices. Sometimes it's mercury. Sometimes it's arsenic or uranium. And a lot of times it's a combination of different ones. And so it's not about becoming this theoretical toxin-free body. That's not where we're going to get you, but it's a body that we're reducing toxin exposure and we're mopping up maybe historical toxin exposure that your body wasn't able to deal with. And sometimes we see that in people's health history that we think, oh, wow, they've probably been dealing with this since they were 5 when they lived in a moldy home, or since they were 10 when they got mercury implants or mercury amalgams, which is fillings that we consider metal fillings, but metal fillings have mercury in them. And so these are different things that we want to, and what we do actually look at inside our program, the Better Belly Blueprint. On top of that, you can actually do really simple methods to help clean up the liver and just help reset it, unrelated to like reducing toxins, but just simple daily, weekly, monthly practices that helps your liver be more functional. And notice that none of the things I listed here said alcohol. Yes, maybe we have had, and I have had clients that have had a history of alcohol abuse, and that's a component of detangling their health history and a component of maybe how their liver got burdened with toxins, but it's not permanent, right? And there are plenty of people, myself included, who never had specifically alcohol be one of the things that was burning the liver, but I did have a toxic and burdened liver. So that is part of how detoxing is actually the key to having bowel movements. The liver is so key with the bile that it's going to produce. And when you have bile, and there's even more things that happen. So when you have proper bile production and then proper digestion, you're going to have improved motility, and your body is going to now say, okay, we've digested well enough. Let's move on to the next phase. And if you're not getting those signals, then your body's going to say, slow down. We still need to digest. You slow down motility, all because you don't have a digestive enzyme going on. And so that actually also brings us a little bit back to the very first episode in the 5 Toxin Trap, which is on poor digestion. Go check it out if you haven't listened to it. But the liver does so much. And so if you're wondering what might be some symptoms I would have of like a liver that's not happy, how would I possibly know if digestion was one of the things? How would you possibly know if digestion was one of the issues you were struggling with? So here is a list, and I want you to listen to each one of these. If you're watching, you can read them along with me, and in your mind, just tick off yes or no to these questions. And the more things you say yes to, it is more and more signs that your liver needs a little bit of love. And that's great. You now have literally something that you can do to help probably not just your constipation, probably your hormone balance and your skin health, to have beautiful glowing skin. It's helped clients with eczema and acne, brain fog, chronic fatigue. All these things can be improved as you improve your liver and detoxification. So here are some of the symptoms. Number 1, you wake up between 2 to 4 a.m. most nights. This is called liver hour. It was actually identified in Chinese medicine, but very, very classically, we have clients, myself included, wake up at 2 to 4 a.m., not needing to pee, sometimes sweating. If you sometimes are sweating when that happens, that's another sign, because your liver, as it's turning on at night to catch up with to processes it couldn't deal with in the daytime. And so as it's dealing with those processes at night, it's filtering your blood, which its main thing that it does is manage blood. And as it's doing that, it heats up your body. And so sometimes you might be sweating. It's not actually a hot flash caused by hormone fluctuation, though ultimately hormone fluctuation is the liver having to manage all those things. But it's actually a result of liver toxicity and liver congestion. So waking up 2 to 4 a.m. If you wake up during these times, you may also be experiencing what feels like a hot flash. Unless you're in perimenopause, this isn't hormones, it's a detox issue. If you're sensitive to alcohol, meaning after just a couple of sips or half of a drink, you already feel like you've had a full or maybe 2. Sometimes it could just be a sip and you already feel full on heady. Very, very strong alcohol sensitivity. That's often a sign of the liver being already congested. And it's like, I can't handle any more toxins. And so this alcohol, it can't manage any of it. And you're immediately succumb to it. You're sensitive to scents and perfumes because scents and perfumes have to be processed by the liver. You have painful periods, you have irregular periods, you have PMS. These are related to having estrogen dominance and elevated estrogen levels in the body. The most common cause of that is your body not being able to detox estrogen. And guess which organ is mainly responsible for detoxing estrogen? It is the liver. So any type of estrogen dominance type symptoms, which includes also just skipping bloating here, getting irritable for maybe no reason. You're just really irritable and it feels like small things set you off. You deal with anger more than you used to, or maybe more than you always have, ever have. These are going to be two things. Any type of, a lot of like irritability, anger, anxiety, that can be also a symptom of estrogen dominance. Other things not specific to estrogen dominance, you have bloating, you have abdominal pain or discomfort after eating because of that low bile production, low digestive enzymes. And let me tell you, digestive enzymes, like taking it as a supplement, they will never be enough. And I dive into that in the episode on weak digestion or poor digestion. So go back and listen to that one in 3 or 4 episodes ago. If it feels like food moves slowly through you, that is a sign of poor detoxification because that bile is low quantities and so it can't help you digest food. And again, even if you don't have a gallbladder, you still produce bile. And so there are ways to optimize your liver's ability to produce bile. And honestly, having no gallbladder, having to have had a gallbladder removed, or being in the process of gallbladder disease, like you have some gallstones or doctors are saying we're going to have to watch this and manage it, that is a sign that your bile is thickening and you're probably not producing enough for your digestive tract to get. And it is reversible. Not always with gallbladder disease. There's a certain point where you just need to get the sucker taken out. But there's a lot of things that are reversible in terms of bile health, and that can sometimes reverse gallbladder disease. If you're constipated, that just point blank is a big sign of poor detoxification. And if you have a hard time passing gas, meaning you feel the gas but it's not coming out, big sign of poor detoxification in the body that's resulting in slow motility, where your gut has stuff in it, has food, it has gas, and it's not getting it out. So that's the list here. I'm so curious, how many of these things were something you said yes to? The more things you said yes to, the more this is something that is likely your body's dealing with. And it's very common. If you're like, well, I said yes to all of those, Allison, or everyone says yes to those. That's not true. When you're in a really healthy, balanced state, you're not waking 2 to 4 a.m., gas moves through you just fine. You're detoxing just fine. That's basically where I'm at on a day-to-day basis, but it wasn't where I was at 10 years ago when I was going through all this and nothing was resolving. So that's the basis of how you want to reverse your thinking that it's not that pooping aids in detoxification. It does, but it's more accurate to say detoxification aids in pooping. Totally crazy. All right. So here are the 3 most common traps that you're going to run into that people trying to heal this. Because honestly, I don't usually talk to someone who says, wow, I've never heard of detoxification. At this stage in the game, when you're listening to podcasts on how to heal your gut and how to poop, all the normal rounds and things have not worked. And detoxification is kind of a common thing for people to talk about. So if you say, Allison, I've already worked on this before and nothing helped. Well, here are 3 common traps that a lot of my clients have gotten stuck in when I was interviewing them as to why they are not better and what we need to do differently. These were the 3 most common things that I found myself hearing that when we did it differently, that they actually got results. So number 1, they were only doing juice detoxes or kind of trendy cleanses. So doing a juice detox might reduce stress on your GI system just by virtue of it being liquid, really easy to digest. You're not having to break apart fibers because it's already been pre-emulsified by the blender. But unless you want to do a juice cleanse as your new lifestyle, even if you feel better on it, it's really not sustainable. It's not a fix. It means it's actually just a restricted diet where you're not able to eat other things that aren't juice cleanse type material. And so it's not a solution. You want to be able to eat a normal diet with carbs and with protein and with cheese and foods that are not blended, and still be able to have energy and clear skin and poop and have a not bloated belly. Those are going to be signs of a really, really healthy, optimal body. But unfortunately, something that I hear people say is, well, I did a juice cleanse and I felt good while I was on it, and then I got off and it all comes back and I'll do it again, and it just becomes cyclical and it doesn't actually fix anything. So it's not a root cause, it's a Band-Aid. So when you address the 5 toxin trap correctly, as we're teaching in this series, you won't have to detox with juice cleanses anymore, because your body will just cleanse itself on its own, how it's supposed to do on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. So additionally, just something to note here is that juice detoxes, specifically to juice detoxes, they can actually add more toxins into your body if you have an imbalanced system. One big issue, it's not the only one, but one of the most common ones we see is a lot of juice cleanses include ingredients that are high in oxalates, like spinach. And so spinach and many other vegetables that are high in oxalates, if you have leaky gut, you end up absorbing all these oxalate into your body. And then your oxalates can go through the roof and can create issues everywhere from kidney stones to brain fog to joint pain. So it can create other issues in the body and not really fix things. So I 10 out of 10 don't recommend juice cleanses for almost anyone unless you're already healthy. And then they can be a way to optimize, but not necessarily heal or fix somebody who is on a day-to-day basis already not feeling great. So that's the first most common trap, is just, and under that category, doing things that are not truly a long-term detox solution. Saunas are great, but are you doing that because your body can't detox to begin with? Then saunas are going to be buffering or augmenting an issue that, when you're not doing a sauna, is still there. Ultimately, to fix this trap, you want to be thinking about what you're doing as a permanent fix, something that from here on out, you don't have to go back to a sauna or to the juice cleanse or to whatever it is for your cells to be detoxing. So number 2 is ignoring the liver as the detox organ. And we've already talked a lot about liver here. So this is just to go back to it and say it is actually one of the keys to being able to really fix this category of poor detoxification and the 5 toxin trap. When you For it, all you have to do is find the toxins that are making the liver so annoyed, reduce those exposures. So maybe it's mercury amalgams. I mentioned that already. It's different. So you can't just do one test. You have to do multiple tests to look for, are there parasites? Is there candida? Is there H. pylori? Is there mold? Mold's a big, big, big one out there. And then addressing mold properly, which, by the way, we're actually starting a mold series next week, and it's going to last almost 2 months. It's going to be amazing. I have all the episodes mapped out. We might even do some more by the end of it. I usually get new ideas as we go along. And so we have an amazing mold series. It's going to be our second series we're going to be doing. So be sure to hang out and come back for next week, because it's going to be clutch. I'm so excited. But mold's a big one that burdens the liver. And so if you're still living and being exposed to these toxins, if you don't reduce exposure, then the second step, which is cleaning up the liver, you're going to be stuck in the cleaning up the liver stage, which is relevant and needed, and you have to do it to really get your liver back to baseline. But it will only stay at baseline if you also address reducing exposure to toxins. And honestly, it's more than like, well, I already eat organic. Yeah, most of our clients do. It's an easy, quote unquote, easy thing. It's not about plastic. Like, I didn't go plastic free to heal my gut. I wasn't plastic free. I'm still not 100% plastic free. And my gut still healed. I'm not 100% organic in my food, and I still healed my gut. You don't have to be perfect to heal your gut. You just have to know the right steps. So that's number 2. The second most common mistake is just ignoring the liver, not being aware of it, not knowing how to heal it, what types of protocols work for it, what is a protocol that doesn't address the liver, and then not doing testing for and actually doing a little bit of the legwork to reduce exposure to the correct toxins that are bothering your body. And the last one is not supporting your methylation pathways. I do hear people talk about methylation, and when I've had clients come into my clinic or work with me one-to-one, when I've been interviewing them, they'll talk about, I know I have the MTHFR gene mutation. They're familiar with that part of the methylation pathway, but not actually how to support it. And so even if you have the MTHFR gene mutation, honestly, whether or not you have it, whether or not you have the MTHFR gene mutation, you can still support your methylation pathways and have a life where you don't have to deal with the symptoms of a poor or a clogged up methylation pathway. Even if you have the MTHFR gene mutation, I'll say this again, even if you have the MTHFR gene mutation, you can still do strategic action to optimize your methylation pathway and basically live as if you don't have this pathway. And if you don't believe me, go Google Dr. Ben Lynch, MTHFR, and you can learn all his work and his approach to genes. And his work is phenomenal and really showing that having a gene mutation is not a life sentence. It's not that you'll be sick the rest of your life or that you can never get better. It is simply something to be aware of and a factor that you just need to know to support your body in. So those are the 3 most common mistakes that I see people making in this pathway or in this toxin trap. So here's what you want to do instead. Number 1, you want to support your liver the entire time you're healing. So one thing I see sometimes is that people will say, well, I did a liver protocol for a month with a practitioner. And whether or not the liver protocol had actually really great strategies inside it is beside the point, but they didn't do it the entire time. And what I've found is that as you're doing different protocols, like we have a protocol for H. pylori that lasts a month, and we have a protocol for candida that lasts 2 months. We have a protocol for parasites that lasts 2 months. As you're doing other protocols or dealing with heavy metals, your liver is having to do a more toxin processing than it typically would have to do in a healthy state where you're not pushing toxins. And so you want to support it the whole time with nutrients and with activities that help just proactively pull those toxins out. If you don't, a lot of times the toxins can actually not get out of your body and just hang out there having fun. And you really don't want that. And so you basically just reabsorb the toxin. So you want to support the liver through the entire healing process. And of all the supplements that I like to keep on hand and just have to occasionally, if I'm feeling under the weather, getting a little sick, drank some alcohol and just want to optimize my liver's response to that, I love to keep around some of my liver protocol strategies from that same protocol that I don't necessarily use every day, but it is still 10 and 10 helpful on just occasional needs when it's relevant. So that's number 1, support the liver. The one thing to keep in mind, my one warning I wrote down for you guys, is you don't want to only support the liver. Don't be like, the 5 toxin trap is 5. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to focus on just detoxification and that'll get me there. It won't. You have to work on all 5, and they all interact with each other. That detoxification, when you support that system, it helps support bringing bile back online, which is part of digestion. And bile is going to help reduce candida load in your body, which helps with the pathogen protocols and hidden pathogen trap. And being able to support nutrients helps with your motility, which is going to help push things along and help you poop, which is going to help you not reabsorb toxins. They all work together. And then ultimately, once they're working together in like a symphony, you just slowly take your hands out via reducing supplementation, reducing the amount of food sensitivity restrictions you're on. And you actually see that your health and your symptoms, reduction of symptoms stays the same while you have to do less, which is just phenomenal. So that's number 1, support the liver the entire time through healing. Number 2, do testing that gives guidance on specifically what sections of your methylation pathways need support. When I work with our clients and when they walk through our Better Belly Blueprint, which is our proven process on how to permanently reverse constipation, acid reflux, and hormone imbalance, as they go through that, there's some generic methylation support we give to pretty much everyone. It's very basic supportive cofactors, meaning vitamins and minerals that you need to actually have your methylation enzymes work and get all of your methylation to the next stage and fully processed out. But then some people that we find in our testing that we do with them need additional support that other people should not get because it would throw them out of balance. So that would be like one of the tests that we do is in the Dutch test. And honestly, you might have a Dutch test, and we see a lot of people have these Dutch tests, and they will actually have signs that they need a methylation pathway supported very specifically. And previous practitioners did not do it properly and did not even notice it, and definitely didn't help support it in that specific way. And so we teach inside of our program, the Better Belly Blueprint, how to properly analyze your labs, which labs you even need to get, so you're not getting labs you don't need and you're saving tons of money there, and then what protocols you need based off of your unique lab results and what order to do it all in so that you get results fast. So if you're interested in that, go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint. You can join today. There's no wait list. And honestly, just heal yourself. Heal yourself the same way that I did it, that we've helped hundreds of clients do the same thing. If you want to see our client results, you can go to betterbellytherapies.com/results. It's just all the links to all our podcast episodes with client results, screenshots from clients who've gotten results, and it's results that range not only from constipation, but diarrhea, IBS, acid reflux, autoimmune conditions that have been put into remission or significantly reduced across the board. It's a phenomenal document, and I think it's 20 pages now. We add to it all the time. So go to betterbellytherapies.com/results if you want to see all the results. But otherwise, just go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint, join, and I would love to see you in there and help you become another one of our testimonials on getting free from constipation and any other symptom that you are dealing with. Lastly, if you want to just get a free internal audit of your 5 toxin trap, which of the 5 toxin traps are you dealing with? Is it 3 out of the 5, 4 out of the 5, 5 out of the 5? Which one is it? I have a free audit that I put together for you. You can go to betterbellytherapies.com/trap. I can actually show it to you here if you guys are here on video. And when you go on, you're going to see a 5 questions. Just what are your top 5 symptoms? You submit it. Then it's going to take you through a list of questions that you answer yes, sort of, no. And as you go through it, it'll then pop you to your results, how much of the 5 toxin trap you're dealing with in each category on a scale of 0% to 100%, and then what your recommended next steps are based on your unique results, which is so fun. So that is it. If you guys hope that this episode blessed you guys and gave you a little bit of clarity and hope that things can get better. And if you've not subscribed to the podcast, go to betterbellytherapies.com/subscribe so you do not miss our upcoming mold series. If you've been curious about mold, if you've been confused about mold, if you've been hearing it and don't know if it's right for you or something you need to learn about, be sure to stay tuned because it's going to be a 2-month series and we're going to dive into so many things in great detail that I've never seen on the internet, including how to analyze certain labs, what labs you need to order. It's going to be amazing, guys. So just go to betterbellytherapies.com/subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening. You can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of. And you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you in there. Catch you guys next week.